Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news here in Bachelor Nation. Hello, everybody. Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host here of Bachelor Nation News. The breaking news is Katie Thurston was on a podcast that just dropped less than an hour ago. I think we're the first to report on this. And she talks about experimenting with women growing up. We discussed the queerbaiting accusations that led her into shame in not wanting to discuss, like, hey, I kissed a girl. I liked it. I talked about it. You know, queerbaiting is something that we've discussed here on the past, and it's, I believe, been misused in certain cases. Queerbaiting initially was when TV and movie would pretend to have a queer or a gay love story, and then they would kind of sell that to an audience, and then they would get that audience to watch the movie, and then it wouldn't exist. That's baiting. That's like clickbaiting. Clickbaiting only exists when you don't follow through with the content. If you think this is clickbait, hey, we're talking about it, not clickbait, right? So queerbaiting, it's not clickbait. It's not queerbaiting if Katie's not trying to, in one way or another, gain some sort of monetary situation from kissing somebody, right? So she kissed somebody, posted this, and said, girls, 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 and then everyone went buck wild on her, and this was months ago, and then now she's on a podcast. We're going to play the entire clip of this part of the podcast. I'll play it for you guys, where Katie discusses her fluidity, and fluidity exists for different people. You might be super straight or super gay, but a lot of people exist somewhere in between, and that's good to talk about, even if someone says, no, I'm super straight, because Katie said, I'm super straight. And we'll go, well, you can say whatever you want, but she still has her experiences she's should be talking about. And then the host of this podcast was like saying, hey, yeah, no, this is good. You're supposed to talk about these things. That's how you normalize sort of issues that people don't want to talk about. So while Katie was shamed for posting that photo, she's finally sharing her story, and we're going to get into that right now. Do me a favor, follow me on Instagram at DNeals if you want to catch some stand-up comedy clips, some other reels. You want to see the chocolate-covered strawberries I made for Valentine's Day. Whatever it is, it's over there on Instagram at DNeals. And of course, our Patreon is watching this live right now. If you want to be a part of the private membership-only community, we're at 204 plus rockstar individuals, and they are in the chat room watching this video. They watch us make the thumbnails, and then afterwards we discuss it, and Patreon gets that private exclusive content. Go to patreon.com/Dave Neal if you want to check that out. All right, so here it is. Here was the photo, and I'll read some of the comments people left here when Katie initially was accused of queerbaiting, which, again, I understand the idea that if a bunch of straight people are like, we're going to make out, ooh, and all the boys are like, ah, I can understand how that's detrimental to the gay community, the bi community, LGBTQI+, did I get them all? Community. But conversation is a good thing. So it's good that Katie's now talking about it. Here are some of the original comments that were left. We have decided to lock this thread. Queerbaiting is a real issue in society. However, as far as we can tell, Katie has never confirmed her specific sexuality. It is possible she isn't straight. It is possible that she is, and everything hinting otherwise is queerbaiting. A few users have mentioned videos of her confirming that she is straight, and then their edit was, thanks for joining this roller coaster. The comments on her Instagram have a really crazy range. Some are congratulating her for coming out. Some asking if women will be on her season. Of course, this queerbaiting photo came out before the season aired, after it had filmed. We call it the photo that was accused of queerbaiting. We don't want to call this queerbaiting. And again, that's not for me to decide. But then again, we got to look at things objectively. The Bachelor, the show, queerbaited several years ago with Clint. Remember Clint, who just passed away a few weeks ago, was accused. The Bachelor created this trailer. They called it like Brokeback Bachelor. That's queerbaiting 101. They created a scenario in which two guys were falling in love when they really weren't. That's insulting to the gay community, because there's nothing wrong with two guys falling in love. Love is love. Love is positive energy. Love is acceptance. Love transcends fear, hate, and all these other things. But for a show to pretend, oh, it's Brokeback Bachelor, and know very well that it wasn't, it was just the way they edited it, that is queerbaiting 100%. What Katie posted I don't believe is to be queerbaiting. As someone who is sexually attracted to women but has never publicly called myself queer, bi, etc., because it's nobody's GD business and I don't want to put a label on myself, I could have seen myself doing this and not thinking it was a problem queerbaiting because it's genuinely me. When asked, I identify as straight, but when asked if I'm attracted to women, I answer affirmatively too. I don't know if I see this as a gray area for my personal situation, open to others' thoughts. So people were clearly on Katie's side of things here when it came to just expressing yourself in the way that you want. It's not baiting if it's love. You know, I'm trying to think of the male version of this. I've got guys that I've got tons of gay friends, and I can't imagine a time in the past where we've queer baited, where we've tried to monetize our friendship to appear to be something more than it is. And I just don't believe Katie was doing that. Now, is it a slippery slope if you accuse someone of queer baiting for monetary gain? Are they queer baiting if it's to gain social media followings when they're actually super straight, but they post all this, sexy stuff to attract conversation? I mean, that's just not what the original queer baiting was. All right, so let's play the clip here of Katie discussing, and you can hear the sort of hesitancy in her voice to share this part of the conversation. It happens at the end of an episode, and I have to tell you, as a podcaster who's done podcasting for 8 years now, the best part of the conversation is the last 10 minutes. The guard is let down. That's a good part. Without further ado, let's have a listen.
Topic that I don't know. Okay, let me just backtrack because now you're like, why is she like getting all weird? So
no, I'm not thinking that.
Well, no, this one time I posted a picture of me and a girlfriend, I'd never dated a girl.
Yeah.
She's kissing my cheek and the caption said like, whatever floats your boat. Just very whatever. And the sign was like, girls, girls, girls. The next morning I wake up and there's this whole thread.
Like, I was making out with a girl under a sign that said pussy. And then everyone started freaking out.
No. So what ended up happening is there was a whole conversation around queer baiting, which I'd never even heard of before.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it.
And I felt horrible and like I deleted the photo. And so ever since then,
I don't think that's queer baiting.
I'm
the in charge lesbian of the conversation.
It was a very split. Like I had a lot of people message me saying like I did nothing wrong. Other people like explaining why it's hurtful, and I don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
So of course I ended up deleting the photo. But ever since then, I've been very hesitant to talk about any of my like female encounters because I didn't want people to view it as queer baiting. And so
I don't blame Katie there. She says, I don't want to hurt anybody, so I deleted it. And that's part of the problem. And I don't blame Katie, but part of the problem is our quick calling each other out is that she's deleting a photo because, she's basically deleting a conversation because she doesn't want to be accused of something. And I think what we need is more conversation. Emilia Mariner, our good friend here on the Patreon, just said, calling someone out for queer baiting just assumes that the person is straight. It forces outing and forces rigid boundaries on affection and straightness when it is a continuum. I don't know if there's ever been a better way of putting it, Emilia. So thank you so much for sharing that. Really exposed it down to a core. Let's finish the convo.
Been like,
but that's you guys, that's such a shame. Do you see what we did? We have an amazing, like, cool, down-to-earth bachelorette who's down to talk about sex, and she posts something cool, and then we shame her into a hole, and now she's scared to talk about anything involving fluidity.
Yeah. Like, I'm like literally like shaking. I'm like, oh my God, I just said it.
Can we talk more about it?
No, totally.
I mean, was it like high school? Like what happened?
So my first ever female encounter, I don't even know what's the right word to call it, but I want to say it was middle school. I had never made out with a guy. And so all of us girlfriends were like basically practicing on each other.
Yeah.
And then that kind of like opened doors to like other things together and like going in the closet with like a back massager because it vibrates, all these different things, you know? And so
damn, I wish I grew up in Washington.
Yeah. And so, I've had like these experiences before and like I do find women attractive. I've never dated a woman.
Yeah.
But people who do know me close aren't surprised by that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I like love that. Now I want you to be like the host of the first like queer Bachelorette.
Oh my gosh. I mean, who knows what's happening with the US version, but Australia beat us to it with theirs.
Know. Damn. So, but never a serious relationship with a woman. Just not your thing, or?
So I've talked to a girl about it before because obviously now I'm in a relationship, but at the time, like the thing that held me back a little bit, and maybe this is like a normal thing, but I couldn't picture myself going down on a girl. I could picture her going down on me.
Totally.
But then I'm like, well, then it doesn't seem fair. And I don't know. I've just never had to explore it to the fullest.
What is that called again, Marshall? a basement lesbian, not a
basement lesbians, folks. I mean, I got to be honest. I wasn't going down as a man. Going down on a woman wasn't the first move I learned. I mean, talk about shining light on light. What is it? Sunlight is the greatest disinfectant. No pun intended. But sometimes you're like, I don't know what to do down there. There's bells and whistles and doodads, and I don't know. I didn't get the YouTube tutorial on how to do that. And then you learn. You go, okay, well, this is fun. Helping someone, reach their finish line. Never a bad idea. Okay, folks, that's the convo. Let's keep it going.
Basement lesbian. What is the term for that? Downstairs lesbian. This is a thing that comes up for a lot of women.
Oh, I've heard apparently.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, and so this girl I was talking to, I want to say it was actually like Flicks or Richards, because I live in Hillcrest, which is like the gayborhood. I love it.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And so she's like, yeah, but like once you do it, like you're just so into like pleasing your partner, and like you just get over that thing. And I'm like, well, maybe that's what it was. Like I've just never done it, and then just like.
So getting a lot of great comments from the comment section. I'd love to know what you guys have to think. Let me know. Bruce says, humans really seem to want to put things into binary or discrete categories, even when the raw data is more complex. Probably some kind of survival instinct. Yeah, it's like people that are mask mandates are then called anti-vaxxers, because we want to put everybody on one side of a political aisle and everybody on the other side. And there is something to our brains that is like the golden proportion, right? It's the same thing that made the pyramids, unless the aliens did it. All right, they mined us for gold. Different convo for a different time. But the idea being is we are very complex, but we want rigidity. We want to know, are you a Red Sox fan or a Yankees fan? Are you a Patriots fan or a Bucks fan? Well, I like Tom Brady. Well, then you ain't one of the New England. Well, I'm a born and raised New England fan, but Tom Brady left. I can't just leave Tom Brady. I love Tom Brady. Excuse me, you know what I mean? It's the same thing in relationships. You can be in a monogamous relationship and still appreciate beauty as you see it, regardless of gender or form. So I totally understand this idea of like, we need to do a better job of breaking down these rigid boundaries that we have so we can have these conversations. Politically speaking, we can't talk about, say, maybe when it's time to get rid of a mask mandate, because then he goes, what are you coming at us with these alt-right terms? It's like, no, are you kidding me? We're humans. We're complex. We're not all one thing. We're not all another. The left has a problem with this. I'm going to make this political. The left has a problem with, if you don't fit every aspect of the doctrine, they assume you're on the right. You can be anti-military, anti-war, pro-universal health care, but you could also be pro-First Amendment and think that everyone should be able to say what they think and not get canceled and this and that. And you go, whoa, what is it? Hold on, Rush Limbaugh. You know what I mean? We have this problem, and this problem needs to be fixed, and it's keeping people from sharing how they truly feel. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people where they'll secretly tell me how they feel about things, but they're afraid to post it on their Facebook. They're afraid to post it in different places because they know they'll be shunned from the community. So of course, Katie deletes the queerbaiting or the alleged queerbaiting photo because she wasn't ready to talk about her past. I mean, she hadn't even aired her own love story yet, which in its current form is heterosexual, but it doesn't negate how she got there.
Maybe if it was the woman that you were like super into, then you would be open to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. What sort of woman are you attracted to?
Oh gosh, I don't actually know that I have a type, which I know sounds stupid, but even with like men, I don't have a type. Like we talk about, if you saw them all in like a line, there's no like physical type. Mm-hmm. Actually, fun fact, there was a trans man that I actually wanted on my season, and they reached out and never heard from him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, which I in some ways think is maybe, I appreciate the show wanting to be inclusive and offer that.
Yeah.
I don't know that Bachelor Nation as an audience would have been kind with that. And
this is going to be on Dave Neal, by the way.
We got a lot of content to get through. So Katie wanted a trans man to be on her season. They didn't hear back from the trans man. And of course, like she says, could the show really handle that? I think one of the ways, and I don't know if this is the genuine way to do this, and it would be up to the trans man on the show, but it would be nice to share their love story and not necessarily need to lead and reveal that information, because I think people, when they come at it with a certain idea, like there might be a group of people, which I think is a very small percentage, that goes, this is ridiculous. No, what bathroom are they gonna, you know what I mean? Ugh, right? Ugh. Looking at you, Carolinas. Not the people, but the policy. All right. But the point being is that, when we don't come at things with a certain perspective, we keep our mind open. And I think we came at Katie thinking one thing, and she's telling us that's not who I am. And I think it's important for us to realize that.
I wouldn't want someone to go through that experience,
right?
You know,
just to be like, yeah, have to deal with all of the hate. But you're right. I mean, damn, it's like all of these conversations. That really is a shame, though, that you felt. And I get why you would feel that like people attack for one thing and then like look what that creates.
Well, yeah, and then I think that's why I start to become introvert, because you want to do what's right, you want to be yourself, but then sometimes you say, like one time I said the word snow bunny. Again, I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so to me that's like a fun little snow outfit, snowboarding, whatever. I get again ripped apart saying, oh, well, snow bunny is a white girl who only dates black guys, or like it's a cokehead, like all these Urban Dictionary things, and I'm like, oh my god, I just can't do anything right.
So that's that, folks. We're going to have way more to cover with regards to this podcast. Definitely go check it out. The Ali Colbert. Is it Colbert or Colbert? The Ali Colbert Show. Very, very interesting conversation that they got going on over there. And good for you, Katie Thurston, for sharing your story. That's important. The only thing we need in this world right now is more conversation. More using our platform to talk about our authentic path, and you're doing just that, and it's going to ruffle some feathers, but hey, those feathers were going to get ruffled regardless. You keep on doing you and keep sharing that conversation with others. I want to thank the Patreon for sticking with me on this one. If anyone wants to watch the behind the scenes in the making of this video, go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. You can catch all the live streams there. We'll be back with more content. We have it coming all day long. The next couple days are going to be so busy, so much to talk about in Bachelor Nation. Oh, that's the wrong button. And we will talk to you guys in a little bit. We'll be right back. Bye, everybody.